We're animals who think. To think is to use concepts, which are principles of classification, to understand. We notice similarities and differences to sort the objects or forms we notice into different categories. Everyone thinks. That ability is very valuable in the sense that it has enabled us to solve important problems. Exactly how we understand ourselves as thinking animals turns out to be critical to the quality of our lives. That's covered in other videos on this channel. The question here is, how can we think better? How can we make better use of our ability to conceptualize? Let's use the obvious procedure, namely, identify those who've mastered the art of thinking and emulate them. If you wanted to learn how to play golf, would you take advice on how to play from someone who has never golfed? Or from someone who has never played golf at the master level? That would be foolish, wouldn't it? Thinking well is a skill. Yes, different people have different relevant attributes, but everyone is able to learn how to think better, and it's important to do so. We'll see why it's important in what follows. The claim that there are no master thinkers is fatuous. Dismiss it. How can we recognize master thinkers? All master thinkers share one attribute. Their thinking is organized. So, if your thinking is disorganized, it's false that you're a master thinker. Organized thought is recognized because its levels of generality are clear. All technical words or concepts employed by any master thinker can be explained in non-technical words or concepts based on a conceptual hierarchy that can be experienced. That's required for intelligibility. If it's missing, as it usually is with most people, the result is conceptual confusion, because less fundamental concepts are not grounded upon more fundamental ones. Do you think that conceptual confusion promotes a fulfilled, happy life? Of course it does not. For example, at least etymologically, the word philosopher means lover of wisdom. Genuine philosophers try to think through what it is to be wise in order to become wise themselves and help others do the same. So, the intellectual discipline of philosophy is based on the answer to the question, what is a wise human being? In other words, what is it for a human being to live well? Notice that that question is impossible to answer well without answering the more fundamental question, what is a human being? It's impossible to answer the question, what is a wise human being, coherently without grounding its answer on the answer to the question, what is a human being? Notice that that question is impossible to answer well without answering the more fundamental question, what is a being? It's impossible to answer the question, what is a human being, coherently without grounding its answer on the answer to the question, what is a being? Does that question take your intellectual breath away? Few even consider trying to answer it. If you are like that, you are condemning yourself to remaining fundamentally unclear about what it is to live well, to going through life in a state of fundamental conceptual confusion. Do you think that living like that promotes peace, happiness, and fulfillment? Or does it promote dissatisfaction and suffering? Have you failed to learn from those who have mastered the art of thinking? If so, apparently what it is to live well isn't important enough for you seriously to examine. Do you think that living well is important? If so, do you think that becoming wise just happens accidentally or haphazardly? Or do you think that it's a result of a deliberate quest? There's no good reason not to think through the answers to the fundamental questions yourself. The first tip to becoming a better thinker is to emulate those masters who have worked out coherent answers to the fundamental questions.